She used her husband for money ritual because she wanted to wear expensive designers, gold jewelry, and drive the latest car like the big girls in Harbor City. Her husband kept vomiting money like an ATM machine in a small room in her mansion. He kept vomiting and vomiting until the day a terrible and completely unexpected thing happened. What happened to Amara at the end will shock you. They fall from comfort. Amara was never satisfied with anything her husband gave her. Never. Even if Connor brought home the last money in his pocket. Even if he returned from work with his whole body covered in dust from the hot sun. She still looked at him with disappointment. Connor, once a respected bank manager, clean suit, polished shoes, a man people greeted with respect, was now a bricklayer struggling for daily bread. Everything changed the day money went missing in his office and he was blamed. He lost his job, his status, and his bright future in one painful moment. From that day, life turned upside down. Amara, who once lived like a rich man's wife, wearing gold, eating fresh meals, and enjoying comfort, suddenly found herself living like a poor man's wife, and she hated it with her whole heart. When Connor gave her a small amount of money to start a food business, she reluctantly began. Each day she carried that tray on her head, walking under the harsh sun, her heart burned with shame. Every time she saw Harbor City women wearing shining gowns, expensive wigs, and heavy gold earrings, her mind flashed back to her old life, the life she believed she deserved. She wanted it back desperately. The friend who opened a dark door. One afternoon, while she was hawking as usual, she heard a loud horn beside her. When she looked at the car, her heart almost stopped. It was Sod, her old friend. Sod looked rich. Too rich. Amara froze. Sod's eyes widened. She couldn't believe this was the same Amara who used to look full, busty, and confident back in their university days when they ruled the campus together as big girls. What happened to you? Sod asked. Amara's eyes filled with tears as she explained how life became hard. Sod frowned deeply, then leaned closer and whispered. Meet me tomorrow. I'll take you somewhere. She pressed money into Amara's hand. Hope rose in Amara's heart again. The next day, Amara met Sod and they traveled to a faraway place, Ebo village, deep in the countryside, far from Harbor City. When they finally reached their destination, they stood before a very old woman, ancient, powerful, and feared by many. People in Ebo village called her simply Mama Ife. The old woman looked deeply into Amara's eyes and said slowly, "Do not worry. You will soon be successful, just like your friend." She handed Amara a small calabash. "Keep this under your bed tonight when you and your husband want to sleep." Amara swallowed. "What will happen next?" she asked. Mama Ife smiled, a slow, unsettling smile. "Just do what I told you." Amara held the calabash tightly as they left the village, her heart beating fast. Her new life was about to begin, but she had no idea what price she was about to. The dream of wealth and death. That night, Amara placed the calabash gently under the bed, exactly the way the old woman told her. In the middle of the night, she had a terrible and frightening dream. It felt too real, like she was inside the dream with her whole body. In the dream, she saw Connor lying inside a coffin. The coffin looked old and brown and was placed inside a small, dark room with only one candle burning beside it. Connor was crying in pain. His voice sounded weak and full of sorrow. "Amara, help me, please," he cried, stretching his hands out. But in that same dream, Amara's hands were full of money. Bundles and bundles of money. She was smiling. She was happy. She felt powerful. She saw herself driving big cars, entering airplanes, buying expensive clothes, and walking inside big buildings. She owned everything. She owned many businesses. People bowed to her whenever she walked past. She traveled from one country to another. She lived a big life, just like before, when her husband was still wealthy and they were respected everywhere. Inside the dream, She even saw people calling her Madam, Boss Lady, Big Woman. But Connor remained inside the coffin, still crying. Suddenly, Amara woke up in fear. She sat up quickly. Her heart was beating very fast, like it wanted to jump out of her chest. Her whole body was shaking. She looked around the room. Everything was normal. Connor was still sleeping beside her, breathing gently. She touched her chest and whispered, "God, what kind of dream is this? What does this mean?" She couldn't sleep again. The dream kept replaying in her mind. The terrible interpretation. The next morning, as soon as the sun came out, Amara quickly dressed up and hurried out of the house. She traveled again to Ebo village and rushed straight to Mama Ife's small hut. Amara sat down in front of the old woman and explained everything. The coffin, the money, the traveling, the businesses, the worship, everything. Mama Ife watched her quietly with a small smile. When she finished, the old woman nodded slowly, smiled softly, and said, "My daughter, you should congratulate yourself." Amara was confused. "Congratulate myself? Mama, I don't understand." Mama Ife leaned closer and said in a calm voice, "The person you saw crying inside the coffin. That is the person you will use if you want to become very rich." Amara froze. She felt like her whole body turned to ice. "Mama, but that was my husband." The old woman shrugged. "Yes. That is why I said you should congratulate yourself. The dream has already shown you wealth." Amara shook her head quickly. "No, Mama. I can't do that. I love my husband. He is suffering already. He is trying his best." The old woman's eyes became serious. "Once the dream has shown you wealth, and you saw yourself rich, you cannot turn back. The ritual must be done. If you refuse, something worse can happen. Wealth has already chosen you." Amara looked down at her hands. Her eyes became wet. She didn't know what to say. Tears rolled down her cheeks. After some minutes, she whispered, "Mama, I don't know what to do." Mama Ife said nothing. She just watched her. More tears dropped. Amara wiped her face with the back of her hand. Her voice broke. "Mama, if this is the only way, then I agree." Her heart broke inside her chest. The wicked meal. The old woman stood up slowly and went to a corner. She picked a calabash filled with water and brought it to Amara. "Drink it," she said. Amara, with shaky hands, drank the water. It tasted strange, like bitter leaves mixed with something she couldn't describe. Then Mama Ife said, "After some hours, you will feel like urinating. But before that time, on your way home, stop at the market and buy meat." Amara nodded slowly. The old woman continued. "When you reach home and the urge to urinate comes, put the meat inside a pot and urinate inside it. Then use that same meat to cook pepper soup for your husband. He must eat it." Amara listened carefully, even though her heart was heavy. Then she left. On her way home, she stopped at the market as instructed and bought meat. Her face was pale. She walked like someone carrying a secret that was too heavy. At home, she went straight to the kitchen. When the time came, the urge to urinate hit her. Her hands were shaking. She remembered the instruction. She put the meat inside the pot and urinated in it. Then she cooked the meat and prepared pepper soup. The smell filled the whole house. When Connor came back in the evening, he was tired and covered with sweat from work. The smell of the soup made him smile. "Amara, you cooked pepper soup. Oh, today is a good day." He washed his hands quickly and sat down. She served him quietly. Connor tasted the pepper soup and smiled deeply. "This is delicious. I can't remember the last time we ate something like this since everything scattered." Amara forced a smile. "Eat well," she said. Connor finished the pepper soup happily. He thanked her again and again. The husband who vomited money. That night, after Connor slept peacefully beside her, hours passed. Suddenly, Connor woke up with a loud groan. He held his stomach tightly with both hands and shouted in pain. "Oh! My stomach! My stomach! Amara! Something is wrong with me." He rolled on the bed, crying and hitting his legs on the mattress. The pain was too strong. Amara jumped up immediately. "Connor, what is it? Talk to me. What is happening?" Right in front of her, his eyes started changing. The white part of his eyes turned red. His eyeballs became swollen. He opened his mouth to shout again, but instead of words, money started coming out of his mouth. Notes. Plenty notes. Falling on the bed. Falling on the floor. Amara stepped back. Her whole body shook. She covered her mouth with both hands. Her eyes opened wide like she had seen a ghost. The sound of the money hitting the floor filled the room. Connor tried to breathe, but more money came out. His chest moved up and down fast. His voice became weak. Amara stood in one corner, too scared to go near him, too scared to touch him. Money kept coming out until the whole room was filled with money. They lied to the neighbors. 3 days later, the neighbors started wondering why they had not seen Connor. He was someone everyone knew because he always greeted people nicely. People saw him going out early with his tools and coming back tired in the evening. But now, 3 days had passed. No one saw him. Mrs. Nwosu, from next door, was the first to ask. She knocked on Amara's door. "Amara, good afternoon. We've not seen Connor. Is he okay?" Immediately Amara heard the question, tears rolled down her face. She held her wrapper tightly and began to cry loudly. He has been kidnapped," she said, shaking her head. "I have not seen him too. I don't know where he is. I believe he will come back. That is why I didn't tell anyone." The neighbors were shocked. "Kidnapped? When? How?" Amara wiped her eyes. "I don't know. I am just praying he returns," she said, her voice sad, her hands shaking. The neighbors believed her because she looked like a woman who had lost her mind. Every day they came back to ask. "Any news? Have they called you? Did anyone see him?" And every day, Amara repeated the same answer. No news yet. But when Amara noticed the neighbors' curiosity was growing, she became scared. People were whispering. People were watching her. People were talking about her. Hiding the human ATM. One night, when everyone had slept, Amara quietly dragged Connor out of the house. His body was weak. He couldn't walk properly. His legs were shaking. He now looked very thin because he had vomited money again and again for days. Amara called an Uber driver. When the driver arrived and saw Connor, he looked confused. "Madam, what happened to your husband? Is he sick?" Amara forced a smile. "Yes, he is sick. It's hospital matter. Please help me." The driver nodded and helped her put Connor in the back seat. They drove far away that night. Amara had already rented a new apartment in another area of Harbor City, a place where nobody knew her, Palmview District. It was a small building with only 2 rooms. When they arrived, she dragged Connor into one of the rooms and locked the door with a padlock. Connor lay on the floor, shaking and breathing weakly. And there, hidden from everyone, Connor continued vomiting money day after day, morning and night, like an ATM machine. Rich but empty. After everything, Amara became very rich. She bought lands. She owned many businesses. She wore expensive clothes. She drove a big black car. She built a big house in Crystal Heights Estate, with a tall fence and a beautiful gate. People now greeted her with respect. Whenever she walked into a shop, people whispered, "That is Amara. She is very rich now." Her life changed so fast and she enjoyed every moment. She became very, very happy on the outside. But inside one of the rooms in her big house, Connor stayed locked inside. No light. No window open. Only one small mattress on the floor. He now looked like a skeleton. Very thin. Very weak. But every single day, he still vomited money. The friend's fate. One day, Amara went to visit Sod. Before, they talked almost every day. But lately, she had not seen or heard from her friend for weeks. Amara became curious. When she got to Soda's house in Sunrise Villa Estate, something felt wrong immediately. The gate was open. The big house door was open. The compound was quiet. Chairs were scattered. Clothes were on the floor. Amara's heartbeat became fast. "Sod. Sod," she called. No answer. She entered the sitting room. "Sod, are you inside?" The whole house was scattered. The fridge door was open. Plates were on the floor. She took out her phone and called Sod. It rang and rang, but Sod didn't pick. Amara rushed to Soda's boutique. The moment she asked about her, the workers looked confused. "We have not seen Madame Sod for days. She didn't call. She didn't come to work." Amara became worried. Her chest felt heavy. Her mind was not at peace. The mad woman's warning. One afternoon, as Amara came out of a big supermarket and wanted to enter her car, she heard someone shouting loudly. "A mad woman. A mad woman." The mad woman was pointing at Amara and screaming, "It will happen to you next. You are the next. It will happen to you next. You are the next." Amara stopped. She felt cold. Her hands shook. Her legs felt weak. "What is this? Who is this woman? Why is she talking to me like this?" she whispered. She looked closely, and her heart almost jumped out of her chest. The mad woman was Sod. Her best friend. Her close friend. The same Sod she had been looking for. Now walking like someone who had lost her mind. The people around didn't understand what was happening. They only saw a mad woman shouting at a rich woman. But Amara understood. And fear entered her bones. Her knees almost bent. Her hands trembled as if cold wind blew only on her. She didn't think twice. She jumped into her car and drove straight to Ebu village, to Mama Ife. The old woman's chilling words. Her mind was not calm. Her breathing was not stable. Her heart was beating too fast. As she drove, she kept murmuring, "God, what is this? Why Sod? Why now? What is happening? Mama Ife must explain. She must tell me something." She didn't even notice she passed several speed bumps without slowing down. When she reached the small compound, Amara rushed down from her car, leaving the door half open. "Mama! Mama! Please come out. Mama, I need to talk to you," she shouted. The old woman slowly came out, walking with her stick, wrapper tied loosely around her waist. She looked at Amara with calm eyes. "Amara, why are you shouting like someone that fire burns?" she said. Amara burst into tears. "Mama, what happened to Sod? Mama, tell me. I just saw her, she is mad. She was shouting at me." The old woman nodded slowly, like she already knew. She smiled softly and looked at the sky. Soda's ritual failed her. Amara swallowed hard. "Failed? How?" "Mama, what do you mean? What happened?" The old woman's eyes became small and cold. She did not do what she was supposed to do fast. Amara covered her mouth. What didn't she do fast?" The old woman laughed slowly, the kind of laugh that makes someone afraid. My daughter, when it is your turn, you will know. Amara froze. The wind suddenly felt cold on her skin. Her stomach felt empty. That was the day her happiness died. Even though she had money, businesses, a big house, beautiful clothes, and expensive bags, her peace was gone. Her body became restless. Her mind was no longer free. She knew something was coming. Something dangerous. Something dark. She knew the same thing that came for Sod was coming for her too. Blood in the calabash. From that day, happiness became very far from Amara. Every morning she woke up and stared at the ceiling, thinking, why did I do this? Why did I do this to Connor? Every night she tossed on her bed but couldn't sleep. Even when she slept a little, she woke up with fear, sweating and breathing fast. She picked up food but dropped it again. She had no appetite. People saw her expensive car and beautiful clothes, but inside her heart, there was no joy. The money was there, but peace had gone far away. One day, Amara went to the room where she kept Connor. She expected to see money inside the calabash. She expected to see Connor weakly vomiting money like before. But when she opened the door, her whole body became stiff. Inside the calabash, there was no money. Only blood. Dark, thick, fresh blood. Amara's breath stopped for a moment. She covered her mouth with both hands. Her legs became weak. Her heart dropped into her stomach. No, no, no. This cannot be happening. This cannot be happening, she whispered. Without thinking, she grabbed her car key and ran outside like someone being chased. She drove straight to Mama Ife again. Her hands shook on the steering wheel. Her eyes were filled with tears. When she reached the hut, the old woman stepped out slowly. What is it, my daughter? She asked. Mama, there is blood inside the calabash. It is blood I saw instead of money. Blood, Mama. I am scared. Please, what happened? The old woman's face changed immediately. Her eyes became serious. Her lips tightened. Her voice became deep. This is a very big taboo. Amara's tears dropped to the ground. The old woman continued. You must find a man tonight to replace your husband, or something terrible will happen to you very soon. Amara froze. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Her head felt hot. Her body felt cold. Her spirit shook. The old woman added, if you don't do it tonight, the spirits will come for you. 3. Amara began to cry loudly. Mama, where will I find a man? I don't have any man. I am not dating anybody. Mama, please help me. The old woman just looked at her. I cannot help you. You used your husband. You must replace him. You can refuse if you want to follow the same path as Sod. What happened to Sod? Meanwhile, what happened to Sod was exactly what was now happening to Amara. Everything started the same way. One day, Sod went into the room where she locked her husband. Inside the calabash, she saw blood. Sod screamed and ran to Mama Ife. The old woman told her the same thing. Replace your husband tonight. Instantly, Sod remembered the chief she was dating, Chief Okon, a powerful man in Rivergate town. She invited him to a hotel that night, planning to use him for the ritual. But Chief Okon was a man full of spiritual power. He saw the evil in her eyes. He knew what Sod wanted to do. Before Sod could act, Chief Okon used his spiritual power and sent everything back to sender. Sod shouted. No one could hear her. She held her head, cried, and instantly ran mad. That was how Sod started walking on the road, finally ending up as the mad woman who shouted at Amara. The husband vanishes. Back to Amara. Her own case was different because she had no man she was dating. No boyfriend. Nobody she could use to replace Connor. She held her chest and cried as she drove home. When she got home, her heart was beating too fast. She went straight to the room where she had locked Connor. She opened the door slowly, and to her greatest shock, Connor was gone. Vanished. The room was quiet. Only dry blood remained inside the calabash. Amara screamed. Her voice echoed through the house. She knew her own time had come. The time of the ritual had already passed. It was too late. That was why Connor vanished. Amara stood there breathing fast. Her hands were shaking. Oh God, what have I done? What am I going to do now? Her heart beat hard like a drum. Slowly, fear entered her body. She felt as if something was already watching her. The window made a small sound and she jumped. No. No. I need to leave this place, she said, her voice shaking. The spirits come for her. She rushed into her room, opened her wardrobe, and started pulling out clothes without folding them. She threw everything into her traveling bags. Her breathing was loud. Sweat covered her face. I must go now. I must run before anything happens. I cannot stay here again, she muttered. She ran outside, holding one bag on her shoulder and dragging the other on the floor. The compound was quiet. She pressed her car key, trying to open the boot. But when she lifted her head, she froze. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. 5 black spirits were standing there. Tall. Dark. Their faces were hidden like smoke. They did not move. They only looked at her. Each spirit held a long cane in its hand, scratching the ground with it slowly. Amara stepped back. Please, please. I am sorry, she whispered. One of the spirits tilted its head, as if listening. Another lifted the cane and pointed it at her. Amara screamed and ran back inside the house and locked the door. That night, everything became worse. The spirits followed her. As she ran inside her big house, the doors opened by themselves. The spirits entered without touching the handle. Leave me. Leave me. Amara shouted, running from room to room. She fell, stood up, and kept running. The first cane touched her back. She cried out. The second hit her shoulder. She screamed louder. The spirits flogged her again and again. Her mind began to break. Her eyes widened. Her voice changed. She started laughing and crying at the same time. She pulled her hair. She tore her clothes. She ran around the house talking to people who were not there. Her mind was gone. Just like her friend Sod, Amara became a mad woman. Before morning came, she ran out into the street with dirty clothes and scattered hair. People watched her with fear and pity as she walked barefoot, talking to herself, laughing, shouting, and fighting invisible things. From that night forward, Amara was no longer herself. Moral lesson: the price of evil wealth. This story teaches that greed and impatience can destroy a person's life. Amara was not grateful for what she had. Instead of supporting her struggling husband and rebuilding their lives honestly, she chased shortcuts that looked easy but were very dangerous. She wanted a fast life, fine clothes, big cars, and quick riches. But she forgot that true success requires patience, hard work, contentment, and loyalty. In the end, the wealth she chased stole her peace, destroyed her marriage, ruined her husband, and finally took away her mind and future. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more African stories. See you in my next story.